Ephraim, let's get started here. And this is right up your alley with football and all that other kind of stuff. And the NFL again, any chance they get to make money off the players and put them in harm's way. And nobody wants this. Nobody needs an 18th football game. Nobody needed a 17th football game. Okay? But here's what fans don't understand. There's only one reason why they want an 18th game and why they wanted a 7th. They don't make any money off the exhibition games. They're local TV. They're not national. They're not a part of the national deal. And when they go and make these games real, the value is through the roof.
Of course.
So that's all this is. It's not about, no. If they could have 30 games and get enough players to play, they would play 30 games. This is the problem with Las Vegas and gambling on football is not enough inventory, right? There's only 17 weeks. If they had a schedule like baseball, it would be even more ridiculous than the money that they make.
Oh, good Lord.
Right.
That would be a travesty.
Right, but you couldn't get enough people to play. But Ephraim, here's my issue, and I know you were a part of the players union, correct?
Of course.
But I mean, I don't mean like just as a member, but didn't you like participate?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course you participate.
And I think the players union is the worst freaking union in the history of the United States, the players union, because they have been bent over more times than I'm willing to even admit. And every time the NFL comes calling, the players easily have all the power, all the juice. Because all you got to do, Ephraim, to get the NFL to pay attention and to come to the table and work with you is stop the game. Stop the money train. Stop it, and then they'll understand that you're serious and you're not going to allow them to work you over like a burger and fries, which is what they've done time and time again.
Look, the one thing we've known for years, and even when I played and all of that, the NFLPA, the most glaring thing for me, and when you talk about organizations having the players' best interest at heart, the number one thing that sticks out to me is the lack of health care, lifetime health care for NFL players. The most
whose fault is that?
That's our fault. That's the players.
Yep, that's okay.
That's players union fault. That's what it is. Because the problem is when you're a current player and you're playing and you've had health insurance, great health insurance actually, since you've been in the league. So 21, 22, 23 years old, you've had health insurance, everything's going great. That's all you see. That's all you see. The problem with that is 5 years after a player retires, that's when their health care runs out.
Ephraim,
when you need it.
Who needs health care 5 years after?
Everybody. But what that
no, right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that it runs out at that time.
It runs out.
Right.
And get a letter. You get a letter in the mail.
Okay, you're on your own. You got to go get Cobra.
You got to figure out. You get your Cobra for however long that lasts.
They call it Cobra for a reason.
It will bite you.
It'll bite you and squeeze the life out of you when you see those payments.
But those payments are crazy. But what happens is you have to now go and find out a way to get health care, which I didn't know at the time. This happened to me, about a decade ago or whatever. And I was like, I don't know how to go get health care. I've had it my whole life since I've been an adult, since I've been in the NFL. And that takes me back to the NFLPA and fighting and wanting this, talking about, the 18th game is a possibility and so on and so forth. I would say this to the representatives, to the heads of the NFLPA, to all the current players. If you don't start the negotiation for an 18th game with lifetime health benefits for all players who are vested,
and
then we're not even talking.
And Ephraim,
start it there.
To be vested, 3.5 years, which is what we
3 and 3.
That's when you're right. Not 10. The average life expectancy, or I should say, career is 3.5 seasons.
That's it.
So that's what being fully vested has to be. 3.5.
Three.
Right.
You got to be on the active roster.
Right.
Essentially 4 years, but you get three. If you're on the active roster for 3 years, you get that year. right?
Very easily, the NFL Players Association could have health care and guaranteed contracts tomorrow. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, Ephraim, not 20 years from now. Stop the money train. Stop letting these owners do this to you. And they have figured out a great system, which is 60% of the players are those guys who are afraid to miss a paycheck. Those are the guys,
course.
right? So they make those guys the majority, and then the other guys who have the big contract and a long term and play 10 or 12 years, they're the minority. So those are the guys who really want it, right? Who make all that money. Mm-hmm. But the other guys don't want to miss a paycheck. Here's what baseball did to do that, where you have the inequities of people making money. Ephraim, the union has a war chest. Baseball players, they strike or whatever it is, they walk out. Ephraim comes to them and says, here's my mortgage, here's my bills. Guess what the union does? They pay your bills.
Of course.
Pay your bills to the account. Okay? It's simple. You as a player, are you going to bellyache with the union if they're paying all your bills? And they say to you, once you get your money back, you take it and put it back into the war chest for the next group of players. Yeah. It's so simple.
It's simple. And look, if you're trying to add another game, which also is now adding risk of more injury, which also adds the risk of longer term injury, when you need health care, it's convenient that around 35, 40 years old, you no longer have it. The league is no longer paying for it. And they've tried to subsidize that with the NFL hospital network, where
they make so much money. They don't have to subsidize.
It's too much money not to have full health benefits for you and your family for the duration of your life.
It's simple.
To me, it doesn't make sense for someone who played for 13 years and 159 games and 8 surgeries, 2 torn labrums, broken hands, herniated disc in my back, soon coming up on 2 knee replacements, for someone who I just listed up, and this just is me.
That's
just
you.
imagine, this is me. So when you don't, that's coming out of my pocket, and we have a reimbursement situation where you got to pay it, and then if they deem it okay, they'll pay it. It shouldn't even have to get to that. It shouldn't even be that. You should be locked in on insurance. Thank God for the Writers Guild. Thank God that I was smart enough to dive in to another profession where they had a strong guild. I have excellent health care for my family and I. Guess how much it costs for me to insure my dependents?
Please tell me.
$150 a year.
But that's because this is negotiated.
That's what it is.
Right.
This is real life.
Right.
Okay, so for me, back to 18 games. If you want 18 games, okay, owners, we'll give you 18 games. We know the type of revenue each game generates. But what we want from you, and what we're going to start with, is lifetime health care for all that are vested in the NFL. Come back to us when you guys are ready to negotiate. That would be my stance.
And that would be the correct stance, but the NFL players, as strong as they are, they're very, very weak when it comes down to this.
Because they come in and they say, you guys want higher salaries. Who's going to say no to that? Who's going to say we don't want higher salaries when you're currently playing? We heard the rhetoric. We heard it. You guys, what do you guys want? You guys want more salary? You guys want less training camp practices? You guys want all of that? I got it all. Yeah. They throw all of those bells and whistles out there.
And the last one was smoke weed. We won't test for weed.
Everybody signed up for that.
They want that, but they don't want health care for their family.
What do you think you're smoking the weed for?
Right. Here we go.
You got migraines. What you smoking the weed for?
Can I give you this?
Please give it to me.
As of February 2023, Major League Baseball players qualify for health insurance after playing how many games in the major leagues? Ephraim?
1.
You know it.
I know it.
1.
I know it. 1 game.
1. You make it to the big league. You play 1 game. You locked in for lifetime health care.
Hey,
and 43 days. You ready? 43 days as a big leaguer for the pension. 43.
Come on.
What are we talking about?
This is crazy.
Okay.
Guess who? Guess what league makes more money?
No, right? But they
guess what league makes more money?
But they don't want to share it with the players because why?
That's my biggest.
What did the
sticking
baseball
point.
players do? They stopped the World Series.
They were like, we ain't doing it.
The World Series have been played for 100 years. What? Oh no, we're out on the World Series.
Basketball has that same level of leadership in terms of player-driven leagues as well. Right? When they wanted Donald Sterling out, there was like, hey, brother,
dude, you're out tomorrow. You're out.
This is not going to be next week. This is now. Ain't nobody playing if he's not out. They made a decision. They voted. He had to sell the team.
NFL, they come on day one, and they all hold hands.
Yeah,
like some solidarity.
Like
Remember
you said,
that?
the pay discrepancy between stars and
60% of it.
It's so big.
No doubt.
So big.
What should players ask for an 18th regular season game? Ephraim, I know people want to get in.
Yeah, let's go. We got Eric in New Hampshire. You on the Odd Couple with Rob and Ephraim. What you got?
Hey, guys. Love the show. Ephraim, just want to say, I was listening Sunday night when you told your story about Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
I was crying in my car. That was such a touching story. I'm so sorry for the reason that you had to tell it, but I want you to know that we're definitely listening, and it definitely means a lot.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So my main point was that as fans, we're kind of responsible too for what happens here, especially with the NFL. Fans don't really have a good understanding of how the union works or how unions work in general. Union membership is 2/3 less in America than it was 60 years ago. So people just don't know what they do and what they are. And, a lot of people have these anti-union tendencies anyway, and it kind of leads to people dismissing the players. If there's no games for a while, or if there's a strike, or even if they threaten a strike, fans will start to get impatient, and it's not with the owners most of the time. What I hear from most people I know is that they're impatient with the players.
Right.
Why are the players asking for more? Don't they have enough already?
They're greedy, right? But they go in and buy $18 French fries and not even flip.
Right.
You want to park a
$30 beer,
right? I find it comical that fans will do that.
Eric.
Yep.
Yeah,
but they'll rip the players, and I'm like, dude, you just paid $125 to park your car to go to a football game.
And don't even count these tickets. How much these tickets are going for, especially on the resale market. Thank you, Eric. Robert, you're in Florida. You're on the Odd Couple with Rob and Ephraim. What you got?
How you guys doing? Who's speaking for Chris in the union? He gets all this PTO.
Yeah, right. Chris, there's no doubt about it. Chris is always off, but it is what it is. Some of us have to hold down the show. I'm just saying.
Really? Mr.
Rob,
Travel all over the place?
Rob, you're here day in, every night. You're here. And I applaud you and much appreciated.
Thank you.
Now, I've never been in professional sports. I will never be as a 38-year-old male. What if the first round pick, their contracts were 100% guaranteed, your second contract is 75% guaranteed, and then if you make it to a third, which not many do, it's 50%. I don't know if that's something they could do, and it may be a wild statement, but I look forward to hearing your answers. Love the show, and Ephraim, glad to have you on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I think it should go the other way. I think you should be able to come in and partial guarantees, and then once you hit a benchmark of performing and all that, I think your third contract should be fully guaranteed. Maybe the second 75% guaranteed. That way you earn it. I mean, it's a tough business to stick and stay in, as Rob likes to say. So I think you should be able to earn those fully guaranteed contracts.
I think it should just be guaranteed from the start. So you get 3 years. Mm-hmm. And after 3 years, because what you have here with the franchise tag is basically they should have control of you.
Yes.
So that's where the issue comes in. So if I give you a 3-year contract, Ephraim, and you perform, I can go get another one. If I don't perform, then I don't have to sign you. Yeah. Somebody else can say we don't want you or whatever. And that's all it is. And then you have to earn every 3 years. I'm just giving out the number. And that's how it should be for these players, because It's not fair. Baseball contract. These guys signed 11-year contract.
Oh, they locked in.
Fully guaranteed.
Yeah, they locked in.
Fully.
It takes so much to get to their
But
free
they,
agency,
right,
though.
but they get 6 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But they do get paid. If you're good enough, Ephraim, and you do all the things you need to do, you're going to get paid in baseball. You just saw one guy get $700 million.
Yeah, well, he just happens to be the best
But I'm just
baseball player
saying,
on the planet.
but he got $700.
He got $700.
Come on.